Human retina explained in A-level biology in under 60 seconds. Let's go. So the human retina contains two types of photoreceptors. They're called rods and cones. Rods contain a pigment called rhodopsin, which is broken down to establish a generator potential, and cones contain a pigment called iodopsin, which is also broken down to establish a generator potential. Now, cones have a very high visual acuity, so they can distinguish between 2 points very closely. That's because a single cone cell is connected to a single bipolar neuron, which is connected to the optic nerve. This then goes to the brain, so the brain can distinguish exactly which cone cell sent which electrical impulse. Now, rod cells, on the other hand, they have a high visual sensitivity. What that means is that they can distinguish between dark and bright very well, and this is especially required for organisms that are nocturnal. Now, the way they do this is essentially multiple rod cells are connected to a single bipolar neuron, which is connected to the optic nerve. This means the combined generator potentials can then establish an action potential very easily. However, more work, a stronger stimulus is required to establish an action potential for the cone cells. Okay, now this process is called spatial summation. So the combined generator potentials of the numerous rod cells lead to a very high visual sensitivity because it's easier to generate an action potential due to spatial summation. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why rod cells have a high visual sensitivity and you can distinguish between dark and bright. And that's why cone cells have a very high visual acuity and you can see color. There are also specific sensitivity cone cells. So there's red sensitive, green sensitive, and blue sensitive. And what this means is that they're specific to different wavelengths of light. Okay, and again, they're more detailed and provide a high visual acuity. Thank you for watching.